African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 29th of August, 2025. From August 23rd to 29th, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered 7 group strikes with precision weapons and strike unmanned aerial vehicles, during which enterprises of the military-industrial complex, Ukrainian military airbases, storage facilities for operational tactical missiles Sapsan, and a fuel depot supplying the armed forces of Ukraine were hit. In addition, the following were struck: the Neptune missile system, command posts, assembly, storage, and launch sites for long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries. During the week, units of the North Group of troops inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of tank, 2 mechanized, 3 airborne assault, motorized infantry, ranger, assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv region, formations of mechanized, motorized infantry brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a border detachment of the Ukrainian Border Service were struck. Over the week, losses of the armed forces of Ukraine in the area of responsibility of the North Group of troops amounted to more than 1,190 servicemen, 22 combat armored vehicles, and 64 cars. Destroyed were 27 field artillery guns, including 4 produced by NATO countries, 46 ammunition, fuel, and material supply depots. Units of the West Group of troops decisively liberated the settlement of Sredny in the Donetsk People's Republic. They struck formations of 2 mechanized, 2 assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost more than 1,580 servicemen, 3 tanks, 35 combat armored vehicles, including 15 armored vehicles produced by NATO countries. Destroyed were 114 cars, 13 field artillery guns, including 7 of Western production, 37 electronic warfare stations, and 28 ammunition depots. Units of the South Group of troops advanced deep into the enemy's defense and liberated the settlements of Klebenbyk and Nelipovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. They inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of 6 mechanized, airmobile, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade. Over the week, losses of Ukrainian armed formations in this direction amounted to more than 1,345 servicemen, 2 tanks, 14 combat armored vehicles, including 2 Western-produced armored vehicles. Destroyed were 26 cars, 6 field artillery guns, 2 electronic warfare stations, 22 ammunition and material supply depots. Units of the Center Group of troops continued offensive actions in the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic and Dnipropetrovsk region. The settlements of Filia in Dnipropetrovsk region and Pervomaya in the Donetsk People's Republic were liberated. They inflicted damage on formations of 5 mechanized, infantry, ranger, 3 airborne assault, 2 assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and 3 National Guard brigades. The enemy lost up to 2,735 servicemen, a Leopard tank produced in Germany, 34 combat armored vehicles, including 11 armored vehicles produced by NATO countries, 59 cars, and 13 field artillery guns. Over the past week, units of the East Troop Group liberated the settlement of Zaporozhko in the Dnipropetrovsk region as a result of active and decisive actions. They inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of 3 mechanized, assault brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and 2 territorial defense brigades. Enemy losses in this direction amounted to over 1,570 servicemen, 21 armored combat vehicles, 62 cars, 15 field artillery guns, including 5 produced by NATO countries, 5 ammunition and material supply depots. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of mechanized, mountain assault brigades, 2 coastal defense brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades. The enemy lost more than 430 servicemen, 3 foreign-made armored combat vehicles, 75 cars, and 10 field artillery guns. 42 electronic warfare stations, 23 ammunition, fuel, and material supply depots were destroyed. Using a high-speed unmanned boat, the medium reconnaissance ship Simferopol of the Ukrainian Navy was destroyed at the mouth of the Danube River. During the week, air defense means shot down a Su-27 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Forces, 18 guided aerial bombs, 9 rocket projectiles of the US-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, a long-range guided missile Neptune, and 1,377 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the start of the special military operation, destroyed 666 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 80,367 unmanned aerial vehicles, 625 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,856 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,588 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 29,041 field artillery guns and mortars, 40,622 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.